are we doing today? Good. All right. So just wanted to kind of start out and say, I am a selling agent just like you guys. So I run a team of agents, and the only reason that these guys asked me to come out today is because I am a member of your board of directors, and we are trying to make sure that our members are getting the most out of their membership here, right? So one of the newest and hottest things is AI. So we want to make sure that we can try and understand what it is and how we can actually apply it to our business to make our lives easier so that you can do things faster and be on the phone in your car and in front of your clients instead of in front of your computer. All right. So again, why me? Because I'm just a selling agent and I actually use ChatGPT. I was joking around with a few of my friends. I run my business on caffeine, quick wit, and ChatGPT. That is the reality of it. So what are our goals for today? Today, we're going to try and understand what the general gist of AI is and how we can apply it to our business, like we said earlier. Learn the different functions inside of ChatGPT. What can you actually do with it? What are prompts? How do you use them? How do you train it to make it sound like you instead of a computer? And creative ways to use it. And today, you're actually going to walk away with 5 different things that you can do to apply it to your business. All right, so first things first, what is AI? Obviously, everybody knows it's artificial intelligence, but really, what does that mean? So first things first, AI is made to be a one-shot pony, if you will, right? The different kinds of AI do one thing and they do it very well. They don't do all of the things. So there are different types of AI, right? You guys have used these in your daily lives and you might not even know that it's actually artificial intelligence. For instance, facial recognition. When you unlock your iPhone, that is image recognition. That is AI. Natural language processing. When you're chatting with the random chatbot on the websites, those are language processors. You also have things like speech recognition, like we were just talking about earlier. Like talking to your phone and then it sends a text message to your clients or whomever. That is the voice to text. That's AI. Another thing is any kind of suggestion model. So your Netflix showing other shows you might be interested in, or Spotify showing songs that you might like. These are all different types of AI. What we're going to concentrate on today is what's called a large language model. So ChatGPT is one of them, which is the one I'm going to train on because it's the one I know the most on. There's also Claude by Amazon, Llama by Meta, and Gemini by Google. So if you're familiar with Gemini and you want to use Gemini, by all means do that. It's just a little bit similar a program, just looks different, right? So each one of these models is been developed by different companies. ChatGPT is OpenAI and Microsoft that owns them. So they're one of the first that came out. All right. So we're going to get right into it. If everybody wants to do me a quick favor and log into chatgpt.com. All right. So we're just going to kind of go over what is all of this. So the first thing here is the big plus button. The plus button on the left-hand side will allow you to upload different items to interact with ChatGPT. You can upload spreadsheets. You can upload PDFs. You can upload photos. All these different things can be added into ChatGPT, and then you can ask ChatGPT to do something with that upload. We'll go over a couple different things in a minute. I just want to make sure we all know what this looks like and what the functions are. You can create an image. You can tell ChatGPT that you would like it to create a nice suburban home for you with a family playing in the front yard, and it will create an image for you. You can then talk to it. Again, talk to text kind of a scenario here. So if you're on your phone or if you're even on the computer, you can hit the button, say, how would, please write me a blog post for curb appeal. And it will then type it and ChatGPT will come out and do it. This one over here is actually talking to ChatGPT and it will talk back to you. So we'll play around with that one in a little while. It's best done on your phone and not the computer, but it is capable on either end. Okay, So a couple of things to make sure you keep in mind when you're using ChatGPT. You can ask questions. It's basically like a gigantic library. It's better than Google ever was. It's read every single book that you could possibly imagine. Not only does it know all of the information, it can interpret information and predict things. So it's actually good at conversing and having a conversation with you. That's what ChatGPT really is. So please keep in mind, it is an open source platform. Do not share your personal information, your social security number, upload your bank account information with your bank numbers on it. Do not do that, please. And check your facts, right? While ChatGPT is incredibly intelligent and it does a really good job, there are certain things that it will screw up on. So please read through whatever it is that you're going to copy and paste into other platforms to make sure that it is in fact accurate and what you want it to say. Okay, now let's get to the meat of it and we'll try a couple things. Here's all the different ways that I've found, and I'm sure there are many, many more, but that I've found to be able to use ChatGPT in your business. Marketing, all kinds of ways in marketing, time management, workflow, financial and business planning, lead conversion, client experience, personal growth, believe it or not. ChatGPT can act as a little bit of a therapist for you. And of course, community engagement. So one more, being the local authority. It's a very important one, of course. All right, so let's look at a couple things about marketing. Number one, obviously everybody knows you can use ChatGPT to write a really nice email response for somebody. You can also write at ChatGPT, write me a beautiful listing description for this property. Everybody does that, right? But you can go so much further with it. ChatGPT can generate a social media post for you. It can generate with emojis. It can then create a photo to go along with the social media post. All of these things can happen in a matter of minutes. So again, the whole idea here is to utilize this platform to make your job easier so that you can go do the things that are going to make you money instead of having to do the back end stuff. Video scripts, blog posts like we talked about, email campaigns. You can have it set an entire campaign up for your buyers. They're brand new buyers. They've first-time buyers. Set me up an email campaign to talk to first-time buyers over a 3-month period. And it will then generate you every email and tell you when to send it out. Again, you're probably going to want to tweak it a little bit and train it to talk like you, right? So the nice thing about ChatGPT is the more that you use it and the more that you say, you know what, I don't like that. Can you rewrite it this way and add a little humor or use a more professional tone or shorten it or whatever it is? The more that you interact with it, the more it learns who you are and how you want it to sound. And then it's going to sound like you. Time management and workflow. So daily task planning, follow-up scripts, meeting prep, process building, all these different things that, you know, again, takes you a long time to kind of develop. You can use this as your assistant. So think of ChatGPT as an assistant for your business. And there is a free version, but there's also a version that costs $20 a month. There you can do more organizing and utilize it in a more robust way. The free version will allow you to, for instance, create, I think it's 3 images per week. So you're limited on how many images that you can create. The free version will also limit you on what you can upload into the program. There's also a couple other organizational type things that the paid version can assist with as well. All right, how are some things that you can use at financial business planning? Budgeting and guidance, right? So if you do have a budget, again, you can upload a spreadsheet of all your expenses, but please don't upload your actual account numbers into the system. And you can have it then review your expenses and please tell me where I can make better financial decisions. Where can I cut some expenses and what can I do here? And it will then analyze it and come back to you and give you some answers. An ROI analysis, right? Again, how much do I spend in this particular lead source? How many leads have I gotten here? And upload that in there and let it go ahead and tell you what it is that's working and that's not working. Kind of use it as an A/B test if you really need to. The other thing, which I find really, really helpful, is to create things for marketing purposes, right? So to be able to have a buyer presentation booklet that is a small, succinct thing that you can print out, this can help you to create the language that you want to use for it. It can create a PDF for you, but they're very rudimentary. It doesn't necessarily add photos and do all that kind of stuff. So yes, the capability is there, but it's not quite where you would want it to look for your marketing. So you'll want to tweak it, but it will give you all the information that you need. Okay? And then the personal growth side of things here. I've seen a lot of things online about people prompting ChatGPT in multiple different ways. I'm having trouble with seller objections in selling a home. Please give me 5 different ways to overcome seller objections. And then you can go back and forth, right? Or again, personally, I'm burnt out. I'm tired of showing buyers right now. I've written 50 freaking offers and I can't get it accepted. How do I get my mental health back into a good spot to where I can get back to my clients and really do a great job for them? Again, it'll come back with some really great tips and tricks on how to motivate you and get you back into your business. So use it. All right, community engagement. I also really like this because you can have it search the internet for different things in a particular town, right? I've had it put together community guides for me before. So for the village of West Dundee, can you scour the internet and social sites and all of your sources to find information about why someone would want to live in the village of West Dundee, what the average home prices are in the village of West Dundee, how quick properties sell. Put all of those questions into the ChatGPT and it will spit out an entire guide for you that you can then copy and paste into a nice Canva document and make yourself a pretty document to hand out to your clients. You can also turn that same information into a blog post, put it on your blog, and then turn around and share it on social media. So one question to ChatGPT can turn around and be made into 5 to 10 different pieces of content that can go all over the place. So again, just making your life quicker and easier to get those things done so that you stand out amongst the crowd. All right, prompting. Prompting is really the secret sauce to getting what you want out of ChatGPT. So for instance, can you explain in simple words what quantum computing is? And then it'll go ahead and it'll answer you, right? So you can go with some very high level kind of questions and you can get really, really specific with the questions that you want. I tend to, you want to be clear about what you're looking for. The more you give ChatGPT, the more it will give you a clearer answer back, right? So asking those very generic open-ended questions will not necessarily get you the kind of answers that you want. So you want to feed it good information to get good information back. So be clear, I want a funny Instagram, God bless you. I want a funny Instagram caption, or I need a professional blog post, or help me brainstorm ideas for, right? So you're asking it a clear goal at the end of the day and any context that you need up front, right? So if you're, let's say, using a casual tone, sprinkling in some humor, which is what I usually do because I like it to be fun and engaging. So you got to tell it how you want it to sound. Mention formatting, right? Do you want this in the form of just paragraphs? Do you want it in I want a 5-pointed bullet point list of all of this information? Tell it what you want and it'll give it back to you that way. And again, you can get the information and then say, okay, this is great. Can you turn that into a 10-point bullet list for me? And then keep the conversation going within the same chat to get all of those different pieces of content. Everybody following so far? I know I go pretty quick with this stuff, so please stop me if you got questions, okay? All right. If you're unsure, again, I'm not really sure what I want. Talk to ChatGPT. I'm looking for this kind of answer, but I don't know. Tell me what I should be asking you so that I can get the answer that I'm looking for. And give an example of what you like. I like this last post that you wrote about XYZ, or I found this other blog post that I really like, but it's too dry and it's not my flavor. Can you rewrite this for me in more of my tone? And it will do that, right? So here we go. This is the formula. If you guys want to take a quick pick, this is the one that you want. So you want to say who is speaking, right? First things first, act as a seasoned real estate agent with 20 years of experience in the West Dundee market, and the Elgin market, and the St. Charles market, so that ChatGPT knows who they're supposed to be acting as, right? Next, define what it is you want. In the example up here, compose a blog post for me or guide with tips to improve curb appeal. Context. This guide is for homeowners, right? So again, you're telling it, because it could then turn, and I've done this before, where please write me a blog post about, how to improve your curb appeal. And then it wrote it towards the real estate industry. How do you tell your clients how to improve their curb appeal, which was great and everything. But I'm like, no, can you please direct this as if you're speaking to a homeowner? So again, it doesn't have to be perfect the first time you put the question out there. Keep conversing with it until you get what it is that you want out of it. Formatting, right? Again, how do you want it? In a summary, in a bullet point list, in an article, whatever it is. And then the style of speech. And this is where you really want to train it to sound like you. Otherwise, it's going to be very robotic. And that's not how you are. That's not how you sell. So if you use a little humor, if you're sassy, if you have a very professional tone, whatever it is that you are, tell ChatGPT to sprinkle in a little humor, be a little bit sassy, be snarky. And then when it comes out and you're like, that's not good enough. Can you do a little better and be a little more snarky this time? Whatever the case may be, right? So this one is where the secret sauce comes in. And it's about the persona, the objective, the context, the format, and the style. Those are the 5 most important things. So this one can get a little bit interesting. So before you dive into a particular task, you may, again, want to ask, I don't know why it's doing that. Hold on, sorry. There we go. You may want to ask for clarity, right? So pose questions that could clarify the background of what it is that you're asking for. I have a property that's been sitting on the market for 60 days. We've done 5 open houses. I can't figure out, we've had 30 showings and we can't figure out what it is that's prohibiting the property from selling. Could you give me some context into why this may not be selling? And then it'll come up with some answers for you. Answer's probably price, just saying. All right, so how can you guys enhance your business with AI? We're gonna do some actual stuff together here, right? So everybody online, follow along as best you can, throw the questions in. I will do my best to get to everybody. If you guys have questions, if you want to try this and you need my help, please, I will come out and help you guys, okay? So here's the first thing. Please never misrepresent properties. However, you can upload photos. I was actually just at this listing not too long ago, went and got my listing signed for the private listing network, left, said, oops, I have to get a photo for the front of the house before I can put it in the PLN. Turned around, there were neighbors' cars outside. My clients' cars were outside. I really didn't feel like going back inside and asking people to move their cars. So I snapped a photo. As you can probably not see it, but my finger is up here. There are cars everywhere. All I asked ChatGPT to do is, can you remove the cars from the attached photo? And this is the result I got. It removed my thumb. It made the grass greener. It made the sky bluer. And I didn't tell it to do any of that. So it is wild. But again, please do not tell it to remove the power lines behind the house. That's misrepresentation. We don't want to do that. All right. Next, you want to look like a hero at a home inspection. When your client says, how old is that furnace? Take a picture of it, upload it into ChatGPT, ask it how old it is, and it will tell you the manufacturing date. What is this? This is what they did. They said, I don't know what this is. They uploaded the picture, they circled it and said, what kind of device is this? ChatGPT said, that's your main water shut-off. So again, got questions while your clients are in the house? Use ChatGPT. She can help you out. All right, so I want you guys to actually try this out. Can you guys jump in? Let's do it. Pick whatever you want to do. I'm here to help, right? Social media post, blog post, video script, what it is that you guys want to do today. Remember that this is the prompts that we're using. Hang tight one quick second for me. Yours isn't going on at all. Not on at all. Oh, there it goes. All right. So on your excuse me, your handouts that are with you, and if you guys have them online, there's a couple examples too. So if you can't think of something, there's an example little simple prompt on there, right? So the first one I would think of is write me a blog post about 5 challenges home buyers are facing in today's market. Please act as a realtor who has been in the business for over X amount of years. Yep. Keep asking.
Sure, you check.
Yeah.
I asked for dog-friendly spots in Geneva, and I came up with Graham's 318 Coffee House, which I know is
See, again,
check.
always double check. ChatGPT is a source of information, but it may not always be 100% accurate, right? Because it's probably looking at Google, and they probably still have a business site on Google, even though you know that they're closed. Me. 4.0, I think, was the last. Yeah, that's the other thing. Yes, the data there. Yep, hold on. Sorry. Oh, okay. So
I asked it to find dog-friendly spots in Geneva, Illinois, and one of them was Graham's 318, which we know is closed. So make sure you read what it comes up with. And then I asked it to delete Graham's, and it did.
Perfect. All right. So again, write me the blog post, but it's not just write a blog post about X. Act like a seasoned real estate agent who knows the market in this area, and what are the challenges that people are facing. And Justin's point to what he was getting at over here is it is not ever going to be up to the minute information. They only do updates in batches, which the last one, I believe you're right. I think it was like November or maybe January. So it's every few months that they're doing updates. So you have to be careful about the information may not be 100% up to date. I'm going to have you go back by John and see if he can get you connected, okay? Okay. All right.
Say updates. Who's responsible for picking the material in the cloud frame?
It is, that's very difficult to say, right? So every company does it a little bit differently with, ChatGPT versus Claude versus all these different systems. And they're all trying to race to be the best. So they're all trying to update as soon as they possibly can. And they're all have a little bit of different functions to try and make themselves better than the other guy, right? So the best I can tell you is to keep getting in there and playing with it. The information is very relevant. It's just not, if you ask it what the average sales price is in 2025 in a particular neighborhood, it will not be able to give you that information. But if you ask it over the last decade what the average sales price was in this area, it will give you that information. So it can't give you the most. Now, however, let me backtrack for a quick second. If you really want a higher level kind of usage here, go into InfoSparks, pick an area, download the CSV for the area. Let's say you want average sales price for Elgin in the last 10 years, right? Go in there, pick that as your criteria, download the CSV file, make sure that it's formatted properly when you open it up. So you have to have the town, the sales price, and then the last 10 years, right? Upload that into ChatGPT and ask it to do an analysis on the, last 10 years in this particular town, and it will spit out all the information that you're looking for. But again, you have to feed it the correct information. So just downloading the information out of InfoSparks, it may not be formatted in the right way. Again, super high level stuff. We will go over that in future lessons here, right? Right now, we're just trying to get a basic gist of what we can do with ChatGPT. Does everybody have a social media post or a blog post? Yeah? So if you did a blog post, I'd love for you to turn around and then ask it in the same chat. Don't open a new chat. In the same chat, ask it to create a meta title and a meta description for that blog post. So when you're uploading your blog post into your websites, you can then use this meta title and meta description that will then help push your SEO for that to get out there. Please create a meta, M-E-T-A, title and meta description for this blog post. You can also say, please create an image in landscape format to go along with this blog post and see what it does.
Lots of people are creating images right now.
Oh, it's yelling at us because we're all doing it. Oops, sorry, guys.
That I write a video script and it was cute. It told you
Where to go. Yep.
and it create images along video and it's like,
See, you're jumping way ahead of me. I love it. That's my point in trying to teach you guys this is you can say, okay, I want to do, let's say we're focusing on curb appeal, just to say curb appeal, right? I'm focusing on curb appeal. Let's take this blog post. Let's make it look nice and pretty and do the SEO stuff that we need to get it out there with the meta title and meta description, and then create a social media post to go along with that when I share my blog post, and then create a video script to go along with that. So again, the same kind of, yeah, you're bridging out that the content.
meta description. I understand search engine optimization. What's meta title and then meta whatever the other?
Okay, so these things are in the background, right? Think of Google and Microsoft Bing as, they call them crawlers, right? So think of them as crawling the web. They're looking for things like this meta title and meta description that are descripted to what the person is looking for, right? So if someone searches something online that says, how do I enhance my curb appeal? And you have a blog post that talks about curb appeal, and your meta title and your meta description also talk about curb appeal, the crawlers are like, ooh, she knows what she's talking about. We're going to direct, Google's then going to put your link up there because you are referencing the different things that that person is searching for. Does that make sense? So that's why you want to add those meta title and meta descriptions to each and every blog post. You also kind of want to put your name. Well, it depends on your back-end website, right? So my website, when I go on there, there's a place for me to post a blog. And inside of where I'm posting the blog, there is a spot for a meta title and there's a spot for a meta description. There's a spot for an overview. So, but it depends on your platform. So I'm sorry, I can't necessarily answer that question for you. Okay. All right. All right. So moving forward one more time, let's try a couple of different things here. How about we ask it for some advice? Help me with seller concern, buyer objections, hesitancy regarding the economy and tariffs, and why should I buy a house right now? Any question you want to ask it, help me with is the beginning of the prompt. Please act, as a business consultant and help me with discussing buyer objections with my buyer clients. I'm just throwing stuff out there. Whatever you guys want to do.
Set of words.
This one is help me with.
Okay, that I thought there was some prayer.
Nope. It can be help me with XYZ and act like a. So if you're saying help me with buyer objections in the real estate market, act as a real estate coach to give me advice on how I can assist my clients. Does that make sense? So you're telling it who you want it to be. And in that circumstance, you want a coach. You're asking a real estate coach. How's everybody looking? Again, if it's not giving you the answer that you're really looking for, or it's not understanding the question that you're asking, reword it. It's learning every time you're asking it something. So keep it going.
this is really good.
Yes. What did it say?
I have like objections for sellers and high interest rates. And it came back, I asked it to turn it into a social media post. Thinking of selling, but worried about interest rates. You're not alone. A lot of homeowners are stuck. But here's the truth. You're likely sitting on more equity than ever. You can sell in a market where inventory is low and demand is high. And yes, rates are higher than a couple of years ago, but you're also selling at top dollar. Remember, you can finance a rate, but you can't rewind the perfect opportunity to move forward in life.
Ooh, clever.
If you're thinking about making a move, I can help you crunch the numbers, understand your options, and decide what's truly right for you. So this is written in my approachable local expert tone.
Very good. That's fantastic. Or you could say message me. Change it to say message me.
Yeah.
What was your question? Her question was exactly.
Question was, The initial was, wait a minute, let me find it. But help me with getting sellers over the higher interest rates. So it was pretty broad, but I've used this before, so it has a few tones.
It knows you a little bit. Yep. So,
And then I typed that a blog post or just ideas into a social media. And I think
perfect. As you should. Yeah, you can. You should be able to. Is it?
they're not supported anymore.
Oh, you know what? They might have changed it.
Approachable global expert.
I see.
I like that. I've used
Hold on one second. Let's see.
for the professional manager, basically practically and technically fair housing, and then combined all three of those to present to a client. It's the fair housing family friendly. You get a lot of walking in a very walkable area. I'm like, oh, that's not even fair. That's terrible. You gotta know what you're out. Also, had somebody write something high-end house, all ChatGPT. It used the word serene 3 times.
Yeah.
I called him up and said, no, I'm serene. You got to get rid of some of it. One serene and then find the source.
Okay, so that's a paid version. That's the difference there. So you can't upload a JPEG right now in the free version. They must have just recently changed that because you did used to be able to. Yeah, was it 2 weeks ago? Yeah, see. It's a rapidly changing environment. So what I'm teaching you today could be totally different 2 weeks from now, but the general concepts are the same, which is really what I want to focus on today, is making sure we understand the prompt is the key, and conversing with it and continuing that conversation is going to get you better and better and better results. Now, I do want to show you one quick thing. You can, instead of every single time you type in here, act as a seasoned real estate agent with 20 years experience in the local Fox Valley real estate market. If that's what your focus is here, you can go over to where your little face is and you can customize ChatGPT. Okay, so if everybody wants to just go over to their little face and hit that, you can then tell ChatGPT what it should call you. What do you do for a living? What traits do you want ChatGPT to act like? And it'll give you options. Chatty, witty, straight shooter, Gen Z. It gives you all kinds of options, right? So this particular side is just basically pre-training it to respond in your tone, to have that kind of a attitude, if you will. And then what else should ChatGPT know about you, right? And I was being as humble as I could possibly be in saying that I am a caffeinated unicorn of excellence with sharp wit and sarcastic humor. I'm a realtor that runs a team of agents, and I have experience in helping home buyers and sellers, as well as managing a team of agents and all the back-end aspects of running a business. I'm always looking to learn more, be better, and succeed further in all aspects of my life. So whatever it is that you want ChatGPT to know about you, right? I wanted to know, I like humor. I like to keep things light. I like to keep people on their toes and people engaged. So, and I enable it. Now there's different things you can do. Advanced down here. I'm not sure if that comes up on your guys' free versions or not. No, it does. Okay. So enable them all. You want all of those things enabled. Okay. At the very bottom where it says advanced, there's a drop down. Scroll all the way down. All right, so that's just, again, that's if you wanted to already have some pre-baked information into it, if that makes sense. All right, the other thing I wanted to really quickly point out to you guys, over here on the left-hand side, you'll see that it has something called projects. This projects is only if you do pay for the version. It is $20 a month. It is so worth $20 a month. I can't even express it enough. Please, if you are going to get into this and you're really going to use it, it's worth 20 bucks a month. Again, just make sure you're not putting your personal information in there. Couple of things I wanted to show you here. Oh, the reason why you would group things into projects is because then the chats are focused in on that particular topic. So for me, it was more of an organization factor, because if you look, I could scroll down forever about how many different chats that I've had with ChatGPT, right? So this allows me to then say, okay, I want to put all my blog posting stuff in one area. I want to put all my role-playing stuff, all my listing descriptions, village information. I want to have them all in one chat so that ChatGPT recognizes that's the information that I'm looking for out of that particular project. That make sense? All right. Then I'm going to show you just some kind of fun stuff that I did. So again, you can upload a JPEG if you have the paid version. So I went in here and a whopping 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I went through the SFR certification. I uploaded the certification and literally just said, can you read the attached document and summarize it? Now, this was a PDF, excuse me, not an image. This was a PDF. Can you read the attached document and summarize it? Please use the web and other sources to get as much information on the topic in the PDF. And then says, what you uploaded is the short sale and foreclosure resource certification awarded by the National Association of Realtors. I'm not going to read all of this, but it tells you what is SFR. Key skills and knowledge that you may gain from having SFR. Why does it matter to your clients? And a bonus, it's endorsed by the NAR. So it gives you all this information, and then look what it says at the very bottom. If you'd like, I can help you turn this into a bio blurb, a resume bullet point, a social media post, a client-facing explanation of why that's important to them for listing presentations. One question, 5 pieces of content in a minute. All right, here's another one. Let's say, AI training. There we go. God bless you. All right, so here we go. Prompt writing. You can also ask ChatGPT for tips on how to use ChatGPT, believe it or not. So I went in and I said, what's the best way to prompt you? Literally just talking to it. What is the best way to prompt you? Great question. Honestly, you're already doing better than 95%. Again, because I've known this stuff, right? Be clear about, this is where, by the way, this is where that slide came from earlier. Be clear about your goals. Include that context and mention formatting and all that kind of stuff. This literally came in there. And I asked it while I was doing this, can you create a visual off of what you just did? Now it just put the text into a picture, but right? Not bad. So my whole goal today is making sure that everybody has a basic knowledge of how to get into this program, and then some idea of the different ways that they can use it for their business. So let's jump back in. There's one more thing I want to show you guys. Maybe 2 more things. Oh. All right, let's get back in our screen here. All right. This time I'm going to have you take out your phones, because you can do this on the computer, but it's nowhere near as fun. Does everybody have the ChatGPT app on their phones? Take your time.
Worried about rushing.
Oh, is that what the prompt underneath says? Okay. Yeah. Because it gives you like, what can I help you with? And then it'll tell you to ask what you want to ask. So I want you guys to focus on this far right button. It either looks like this. Now mine does not. I have an Android phone. Mine looks, I'm going to go around. It's the one on the very far right side of the screen. Looks like that. Yep. Far right. Got it? So what you're going to do then, yep, the voice one. Yep. So then what you're going to do, try and get close to it so it hears you. If you press it for the first time, I believe it's going to come up with questions. Hold on. Don't do it now. Okay. There you go. So the first voice that came up for Jim was a British lady. You can change the voice to whatever you want the voice to sound like. But the whole idea here, and what I think this is fantastic for in the world of real estate, is role play, right? So, you know, I've done role play where I've asked ChatGPT to act as a home seller and to then give me their hesitations about selling their home in today's market. And I can pull up the whole chat with you, but we had a chat back and forth, and it's fascinating, to be honest. Here, let me see if I can do it. Hey, can you act as a home seller and discuss with me some of your hesitations about putting your house on the market right now?
Sure thing. So, as a home seller, one of my big hesitations right now is the uncertainty in the market. With interest rates still being relatively high, that buyer demand might not be as strong as it was a year or two ago. I'm also concerned about whether I'll get the price I want, given that home prices have been fluctuating. Plus, there's the hassle of prepping the house, staging it, and dealing with showings. It's a big commitment, and I'm not sure if the timing is right, especially with all the economic uncertainty. What if I sell now and the market improves in 6 months? That fear of missing out is real.
Well, I can very much understand where you're coming from with those kinds of objections and fears. Couple of things I would like to discuss. I want to make sure that you understand that we have what's called the private listing network in our area, where you can gauge the kind of buyer activity that you're going to be getting before you put your home on the open market. Now, this gives you the ability to dictate when people are coming through on your terms. Is that something that might be interesting to you?
Absolutely. That sounds like a great way to test the waters without fully committing right away. Having that control over showings and getting a sense of buyer interest before going fully public is definitely appealing. It could alleviate some of that anxiety about timing and market conditions.
Hello.
To hear more about how that process works and what kind of feedback I can
Hi, how are you? Great. I'm good. I'm going to stop it there. Here's the deal, right? Now, obviously, I'm doing this on the fly, and that's not necessarily what I would be saying to a home seller. However, you're trying to bring up different ideas. This is an idea generating device for you at this point, and you can talk it through and get more comfortable with the different objections that are out there, so that when they come up when you're in a presentation, you kind of have in the back of your head an answer that you want to give already. And it is very cool how it'll change gears and turn around and say, okay, you know what, I need to go in this direction, and I'm actually really scared because I'm afraid I'm going to pay too much for my house, my next house, or whatever the case may be. And it could switch gears on what those objections are. So it'll give you kind of a real life idea of being in a listing presentation and being able to practice without actually practicing on your clients, which is never a good idea.
Well, the summer, I drive the
All right. So that's just an idea of how to use the voice functions for role playing.
I don't know. Well, wait a
All
minute.
right.
What time
And a
did you say
couple
in the
of
morning?
things that I'm going to do bonus wise here. Bear with me a quick second. Let me get out of here.
Okay. You know what?
So we went and
I
talked
think
about a
because
couple
I
of
think it
these
would be done
things.
by 9. So
Sold
How
listing.
about the 9:15?
So again, talking about going through the different things we had a property on the market. I'm the listing agent who just sold it. Can you use the internet and the highlights about the location
Yeah,
and
because
the
I
home
didn't
itself to reference
so
the spring markets
9:45,
in full
and
force,
that's on
and the Jones team realtors are ready to help you with your next
Excuse me,
move.
Jenny, can you, somebody's interrupting you.
And then
Yeah, and I need to
what
order
just sold
glasses.
posts, for
So
me.
I already,
One of the
we
photos
had
that
gone through
had
them
from
before. I just
online.
never ordered them. So maybe, I don't know if you guys have gotten.
And then I said, you know what, great, can you shorten it? Absolutely. Here's a version that still packs a punch. So again, the point here is that
Okay.
you can have it. You don't even have to necessarily give it the information. If it's already listed and that information is online, you could tell ChatGPT to grab that information from the sources that are online and create you a social media
Okay.
post or whatever it might be.
Sounds good.
Cool. Do you guys have any questions for me? I threw a whole lot of information at you.
All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
It was. You can say, you know what? Yep, you can. You can turn around and say, you know what? That was a lot of questions. Can you go ahead and break it down for me into the individual concerns that you have, one at a time? And then it'll go back and forth with you. So yes, I'm a little nervous because I'm up in front of a group of people here. So I mean, gosh. Any other kind of questions? Yeah, good. All right. Thank you for coming, guys. Have a great day. Yes, sir. Yeah. Okay, so Sora is, if you want to click on it, you can. It is a culmination of people using the AI to make their own photographs. So you can take a look at what other people have done with AI in making photos. Does it come up on the free version at all? Okay. All right. So yeah. So again, yep. Explore Sora. There you go. So now you can see that what people have done with different videos. I'll put it up on my screen. Hold on one second. Let me put it up on the screen. So Sora is up here on the left. It's a image system. So you've got just different, please like if ChatGPT Premium should be free for everyone. That's the first one that comes up on my screen. But I mean, people do weird stuff. People do cute stuff. They make videos. And this is just a compilation of, give me a heart if you want Sora to give us at least one free video a day. So people are trying to get free stuff out of the system. But Sora is ChatGPT's version of the image side of things, right? So ChatGPT, remember, is a language processing model. It is all about text. It's all about text. And so there are other AIs that are better with video. There are other AIs that are better with voice. Fun fact, there's a program called 11 Labs. It is definitely a paid scenario. However, you can clone your voice. And then you can ask ChatGPT to write a video script for you on your new listing at 123 Main Street. It'll write the video script for it and then turn around and drop it into 11 Labs, and 11 Labs will then dictate it in your voice. And you can put it over the video. It's amazing. You don't ever have to go on video again if you don't want to. You can be behind the scenes. Would you like to see? Oh, it's wild, man. It's totally wild. Where's mine? There it is. All right, ready?
Spikes are wood. That's right. Forest views, walking trails, and a dog park. All right in your own backyard. No neighbors peeking over the fence, just you and nature. Inside, you're welcomed by a story with walls of windows that let the light shine, and the scenery for each. There's even a cozy fireplace for those fierce winter nights. And you need to have a lotion, rushing out much.
You can. Yes. Okay, so this was, yes, no, agreed. This was my, okay, so there's two different versions of cloning your voice. You can do it in a quick way where they take literally like 2 minutes worth of sound. You can read a book if you want to, whatever it is, just 2 minutes worth of sound, you upload it, and then it clones your voice based on that. To me, still sounds a little robotic-y. I have not done the other side of it yet. It will accept up to, I think it said 6 hours of audio. So if I can upload videos into it, it'll just extract the audio out of it. So I just got to go back and do it. And the more data it has, right? So if you upload 3 hours worth, the more data it has, the more it's going to understand where my inflections are and how I speak. And the other side of that coin too is 11 Labs, the program that you're using to create the voice. Punctuation matters. So when you're writing or you're using ChatGPT, if you want to separate things, put a paragraph separation or a ... or if you want it to be inflection uptone, an exclamation point on the end of it, right? So that you have to kind of play around with it to see where it goes and to make it sound like you. You absolutely could. You absolutely could. Yeah, because it's just your voice. So all it is it's basically learning your voice and your tones and your inflection, and then whatever text you put into the box, whether it's out of ChatGPT or just you typing whatever text that you want, you type it in Spanish and it will read it in Spanish. Super cool. So I have the paid version. So which one are you looking at?
She doesn't have it, but she.
Oh,
What am I doing wrong?
Explore GPT.
That's where I am.
Yeah.
Is that weird?
It is weird. Explore GPT.
Yeah.
Or video. That's weird. That's not coming up there.
Is it because of my Mac?
It might be the Mac, but I don't know. It usually comes up right there.
Because that's my website.
I don't know that answer. I'm sorry. All right, ladies and gents. Well, if you want me to stick around, you have any personal questions, or you want me to run through something with you, I'm more than happy to do that. Otherwise, that's all I had for you today.